98.1 KZE, good afternoon. Welcome back. This is Will with you here. My guest this afternoon, welcoming them back to the program, we have Patrick Downs from Ruge's Automotive and also Jack Fenton. Jack is the president of the board of directors of Meals on Wheels for Greater Hyde Park. For everything Meals on Wheels related, you can go to mealsonwheelsofhp.org. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be here. Happy holidays, everybody.
Thanks for taking the time to come hang out with us here in Red Hook. We have a lot to cover, certainly this holiday season. I think the giving aspect of this season is something that many KZE listeners are huge fans of, I have found. Patrick, we're going to start with you and just remind our listeners sort of how Ruge's is involved with Meals on Wheels of Greater Hyde Park.
Well, Subaru nationally has their Share the Love campaign that runs through January 3rd, where anybody anywhere in the country who buys a new Subaru can elect to send $250 to one of a number of charities. One of those charities is Share the Love, and so they get about $2 million a year from Subaru. That then trickles down from the local dealership at Ruge's, and we're able to partner with Jack and the local folks at Meals on Wheels as well. And
if memory serves, if you're purchasing a car from, Ruge's or, any
other unnamed people,
unnamed Subaru dealerships, they allow the customer a fair amount of choice in the right? Is there some?
Yeah, there's a local charity and several national charities to choose from.
And then the Subaru corporate, or however they're referred to, they allow the individual dealerships a fair amount of, or some sort of room for your initiative locally.
Yes, absolutely. It's very democratic, and it's it allows you to sort of find a charity that works for you.
It's not forced on you folks and at threat of violence or anything like that.
No, not usually.
It doesn't sound like the Subaru people. So Patrick, how long have you known Mr. Jack Fenton, and how did you guys get involved in working together?
I think this is our third year working together now. Correct. And it's grown into a bigger and more wonderful thing. But they really came to us. We have a number of people that are customers of ours that volunteer and that work with Meals on Wheels of Hyde Park, and it just grew from there. And we've been very happy and very fortunate to be a part of their fundraising, and it's a great thing.
Let's bring in Mr. Jack Fenton of Meals on Wheels for Greater Hyde Park. Jack, just remind us, we spoke last year, remind us, though, some of the history, how long you folks have been around and what some of the work is that you do.
Okay. Meals on Wheels of Greater Hyde Park was founded 41 years ago, and it was put together by people who were concerned about senior citizens, making sure that they were receiving adequate nutrition. And the reason it's great for us to work with Subaru and get access to funding from them is because we're strictly a volunteer organization. We hire a chef, Joanne Diaz, a kitchen operation manager, Karen Becker, and our business manager, Art Henry. Everything else that we have, all the other funding we receive, is from our fundraising efforts that we have to go through each year.
I imagine, just kind of pausing on that note for a moment, the folks that you hire, that's a lot of work, I would think, for those just those three employees. That is a ton of really important work.
Yeah, everybody who's come into our kitchen in the morning to help us prepare meals or look at the operation is very impressed with how efficient it is, because each day we get out about 45 hot meals to be delivered straight out of the oven right to people's homes, and about 25 or 30 people also get a second meal, which consists of a sandwich and a second dessert.
So Meals on Wheels is a name that I think a lot of people know. It's a national organization with local chapters, or how does that work?
Yes, Meals on Wheels America is the national organization. We joined that organization about 2 years ago, and that's what allows us to get access to grants that they have to distribute to local organizations. Our organization has nothing to do with the county operation for Meals on Wheels. We're a separate organization. We don't look at people's finances. You just have to be able to afford to pay $23 a week for 5 hot meals, and for that extra $1 a day, you can get the second meal of a sandwich and a dessert. So for $28 a week, you can get 10 meals delivered directly to your home.
Yeah, you mentioned the efficiency. In order to do something like that, it feels like there has to be a lot of planning and a lot of organization and a lot of really kind of thoughtful work put in up front.
Absolutely, because it constantly changes based on the nature of the population we serve. People end up going to nursing homes or moving in with family members or pass away. So the routes are constantly changing. We have 5 different routes that we cover each day, and they're constantly changing. So we have some great volunteers who go out and set up those routes for us. And that keeps us operating as best we can, as efficiently as we can.
You're known as a Meals on Wheels for Greater Hyde Park. What does the Greater Hyde Park mean?
Yep, in Greater Hyde Park, when it was originally set up, they simply modeled the area that's covered by the Hyde Park School District. So we cover Hyde Park, Statsburg, we go out to Clinton Corners, we go down to the town of Poughkeepsie, that's covered by the Hyde Park School District. And about a year ago, folks in Rhinebeck, the village of Rhinebeck, had requested that we provide services there as well. So for about the last 9 months or so, we've been serving a number of families now in the village of Rhinebeck.
Is Rhinebeck not covered by another Meals on Wheels organization?
Nope, the county organization provides meals throughout the county, including it in Hyde Park.
Okay.
We just offer an alternative for those who would be interested in it and have the resources to afford that.
What are some of the myths and misconceptions about Meals on Wheels? I feel like, you've been, as you mentioned, you've been around for a long time. You've permeated the consciousness and the culture. But with that sort of widespread awareness comes, I find, a lot of misconceptions about what your service provides.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people just assume that we are government funded, either federal, state, or county, and that's not the case. All of the money that we have comes in from people paying for the meals, and the rest of it is supplemented by a very active board of directors doing a ton of fundraising throughout the year. Patrick mentioned last week we had our volunteer recognition luncheon, and the board is very happy to do that because we have about 70 volunteers each and every week come in and provide support so that we can provide the services that we do to our senior citizens.
What are some of the specific volunteer roles?
We have 2 people each day that come in and assist in making the second meal, the sandwiches, and help with the dessert. They pack all of that up, put it in coolers, label it with the people's name and the various stops that we have to make. We have 10 people a day who come in and cover the 5 routes. We have 2 people going out on each route. One of our volunteers recently just retired after doing this for 35 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And she retired at the age of 93. And that was just this past summer.
Wow.
That is indeed humbling to see that.
Hopefully you threw her a party.
We did. We did.
I'm trying to imagine doing anything for 35 years.
35 years. She asked for no recognition. She didn't want anything. There wasn't anything special that she felt she did. At one point when she had, I think, some surgery, she actually received meals. And when she was feeling better, she came back and continued to deliver them.
It's the best story.
It's a great story. Janet Dailey.
Yeah, congratulations, Janet. Well, what an incredible achievement. My guest this afternoon, Patrick Downs from Ruge's Automotive, along with Jack Fenton. He is the president of the board of directors for Meals on Wheels, Greater Hyde Park. For just about everything that we are covering today, Meals on Wheels of HP.org. That's Meals on Wheels of HP.org. So, I guess there is sort of a push here in terms of fundraising because this is going to help you guys fund your programs throughout the entire year, money that you can get now with the help of the Subaru folks here in December, right?
Yes, Subaru is fantastic. We're very fortunate that they're one of our national sponsors of Meals on Wheels America. The money goes to Meals on Wheels America, and then we have access to that through grants. And the closer we work with Ruge's up in Rhinebeck, the more that helps us get access to funding that we need.
And Patrick, excuse me if I missed this, and you already mentioned this, the Share the Love event now continues just kind of through the rest of
January
December,
3rd.
January 3rd. And so besides, we'll bring it back to Jack, I guess, besides going out and buying a Forester tomorrow or something like that.
And why wouldn't you do that?
I mean, I'm driving one myself, so obviously there's a sort of an endorsement there on my part. What is another way that folks can get involved with Meals on Wheels of Greater Hyde Park?
Well, going to our website, again, you can also not only sign up to be a volunteer, but you can also sign up if you want to support us by providing any type of funding is helpful. We just completed our annual appeal, which we do in October of each year. And reality is we cannot accomplish what we do without the support of individuals in the area, civic and social organizations, the churches, and also local businesses. We are very fortunate that people have a positive feeling about Meals on Wheels, understand that we're providing more than meals to just people. We're also providing them with the dignity of choosing to remain at home if it's their choice. Plus, for the individuals, it gives them a chance to feel more connected, less lonely, and in fact safer, because 5 days a week there's a face-to-face contact with our volunteers.
Yeah, that is something that the volunteers get a lot back, I would think, right?
Absolutely. I was reading in Time magazine a while back, and it talked about if you're going to volunteer, first of all, choose something that matters to you, something that you feel is important. And secondly, do it the same time each week or each month, whatever it is. So in doing that, you get social contacts not only with your fellow drivers, but also you get to know the people that you are providing meals to. And we've had many of our volunteers will attend the wakes of funerals when people pass away, because they've established that relationship in a matter of a couple minutes a day visiting with them.
And I would guess this time of year that contact would be as valuable, more valuable than really just with the holiday season. Can be a hard time for some people, especially if they're living alone.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, if we're running late for some reason, we will hear about that when we get to the home. You're late. Where were you? Well, you know, there was an accident, or they're doing construction on Crum Elbow Road. We had to go, well, you're late. Okay, so they look forward to it, and that's where they feel that connection to the community as well, because people are coming in 5 days a week to have perhaps their only face-to-face contact during the day.
And just to wrap up, we mentioned the way that folks or listeners can get involved with financial donations. And again, it's Meals on Wheels of HP.org for Meals on Wheels, Greater Hyde Park. I would think you always need more bodies too.
Absolutely. And again, that's why by going to the website, you can actually volunteer, complete an application on the website. If you need the service or think you'd like to receive our meals, you can also apply on the website. The other thing that people need to be aware of, particularly nowadays, people having knees replaced and hips replaced seem to happen on a daily occurrence. We can provide short-term services for people. So if you're having both knees replaced and it's going to be difficult for you to go out and shop or prepare your own meals, we can provide you with the Meals on Wheels service for a shorter period of time without it having to be ongoing.
Oh, that's a nice flexibility there. Well, I want to thank you guys both so much for coming by. Mr. Patrick Downs of Ruge's Automotive.
Thank you very much.
Always love having you in the building. And along with Mr. Jack Fenton, President Board of Directors for Meals on Wheels, Greater Hyde Park, Meals on Wheels of HP.org. Gentlemen, have a great holiday season and best of luck with the fundraising. And hopefully we get to see you down the road.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
It's 98.1 KZE.